Hey, Jason here. Now, you're going to recognise this next phrase instantly. It's one of the most famous slogans of all time. In fact, it's become a personal mantra for millions of people. Okay, are you ready? Right, here goes. Just do it. So, what does a catchy tagline have to do with trading? Well, the answer might surprise you, and I'm going to tell you exactly why in a moment. Now, you might remember I spoke about fear in last week's video. This powerful emotion can stop a trader in their tracks, and it can make the trading process unbearable and ultimately end careers. In a minute, I'm going to explain how you can manage fear. I'll tell you about 5 strategies I use myself. They've helped me go forward when fear was pulling me back. But first, I'm going to tell you a story about early in my career. You see, I got my start at Bankers Trust in 1991. My first trading role was on the foreign exchange desk, and my supervising trader was a guy called Gary. He was in his late 20s, and he'd made bank lots of money over the years. But saying about Gary, look, it took me by surprise. Let me give you a clue. There were 3 words written across the top of his computer screen, all in thick black texter. I'm sure you know the ones. They were, of course, just do it. Now, you might think that a top trader is immune to fear, but the truth is many aren't. It turns out Gary had trouble opening a trade. He would do all the analysis, set the levels, but then hesitate to pull the trigger. Every trade was an internal battle. Don't worry if this sounds familiar. Many traders suffer from the same anxiety, and the good news is that it doesn't have to be like this. There are things you can do to reduce fear's impact. Now, these tactics I'm going to tell you, they aren't just for new traders. Anyone can benefit from them. I still use them myself whenever I'm outside my comfort zone. Okay, so here they are. The first tactic is start small. Think of it like this. Say your car breaks down and you need $300 for a repair. Would you give the loss of that money a second thought in a few days' time? I'm guessing your answer is no. It's hardly a life-changing sum. You can use the same logic when fear strikes with trading. Simply risk an amount of money that you wouldn't particularly miss. There's nothing to fear when the potential outcome isn't that bad. Keeping the stakes low, well, it puts fear back in its box. Tactic 2 is to think in the right terms. I remember receiving some excellent advice when I was starting out. A wise older trader told me to not think of my trading stake as everyday money. He said, $1,000 could buy a holiday or a new suit. The trick is not to mentally link a trading profit or loss to something real. It will just increase the stress of managing the trade. Instead, think of trading funds as the score, not a bank balance. Tactic 3 is to know your risk. You see, uncertainty gives fear a foothold. It's the not knowing that brings so many people undone. Our imaginations can dream up some highly unlikely scenarios. The key with trading is to understand what's actually at stake. Work out how much you could lose before entering a trade, and if you're comfortable with the risk, then you're ready to go. Tactic 4 is to gradually increase risk. We all know that Usain Bolt is fast, right? But it wasn't always that way. He began life as the slowest person in the room. Becoming the fastest man on earth, well, that took time. Trading is no different. Start slowly, then consider gradually increasing your risk as your confidence and skills grow. You'll find that this is a natural way to build your tolerance for trading larger amounts. And remember, nothing bad can happen when you take baby steps. Fear doesn't get a look in. And finally, tactic 5, get a mentor. This has been a key factor throughout my career. Learning from mentors, it put me on the right path early, and it helped me through lots of uncertainties. A good mentor is it's like a role model. You get to just see what makes a successful trader tick. Their profits and losses, they become like a roadmap. They accelerate your learning, and they can really help lift your game. And look, don't worry if you're not mates with a top trader. My aim with these videos is to pass on my experience. The first step is to build your understanding, and then from understanding comes confidence, the opposite of fear. So that's all for this week. If you're watching this anywhere other than my website, motiontrader.com.au, then come check it out. You'll find all the free goodies there. I think you'll like what's on offer. And if you like this video, or even if you didn't, scroll down and leave me a comment. Tell me what you thought. So until next time, I'm Jason McIntosh, and let's find some trends this week.